Okay, let's go. Let's play bikes. Let's just
All right.
do this. Why isn't the audio playing? Because I didn't click it. Nobody came into the studio tonight and went, "Hi." Mm-hmm. Hint: Sam's not here. I told him at my birthday.
Nobody's sporting a tank top either.
That is true.
We got that going for us.
Nah, let's not do it. The cue the post-tour depressing everybody. The summer is over. It's time to mope around like Eeyore from Pooh. Got that reference, Jack?
Yeah.
Cool. Well, I didn't know. Because, never mind. Let's just reset. Actually, we have plenty to look forward to, not to mention we're able to witness freaking history on multiple levels, so I guess we can stay happy. Or if you're me, you can try. I really should have started over. Welcome to the longest surviving cycling podcast that doesn't have a host trying to desperately stay hip by wearing his baseball cap backwards.
I know who you're talking about.
Yeah, this is the Pack Filler Cycling Podcast. I'm your host, Pat Bulger. With me are some of the best damned characters to step up to a mic and straddle a top tube, the Pack Filler pundits. But which ones are here, do you ask? Well, if you've been listening, you probably know. And if you're with us live on our YouTube at packfiller.com, you would also know. But let's find out tonight anyway with our prologue question. Gentlemen, what was the first thing that attracted you to your significant other? Hopefully that won't take long. Hopefully it won't take long.
No.
Yeah. Okay, so let's just get right to it. First of all, he's living proof that the Pack Filler stickers could potentially slow your bike down. Mr. Palmain, how are you?
I see what you did with that.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's for later on.
It is, but yeah. How are you, man?
Doing all right. I
What-
think my biorhythm's off. I mean, it's like
Really?
ever since that ride Saturday that you're referencing to,
Yeah.
like everything just seems a little bit off.
Really?
Like I spilled a little beer on my coaster.
I did. It foamed over, and I was like,
No,
this is-
it was perfect. I had a crown. I had all that tension
yeah.
on there.
Surface tension?
Yeah, surface tension was good. And then I went to set it down, and I kind of like an idiot slammed it down.
Oh, okay. Okay. I remember the first time I was in a bar illegally, and some college guy walked up to me, and he was like, "Hey, man, how are you?" Blah blah blah. And I was holding a bottle in my hand, and he did the tink on the top, and I was like, "What the fuck did you do that for?" Oh my god! And then it boiled over. I did, but anyway, that had nothing to do with it. So, just things aren't in alignment.
Yeah, it just everything seems to be going klutzy.
That's weird.
Yeah,
That's weird.
yeah.
Well, what was it that first attracted you to Mrs. Palmain?
She had dark hair, and I found out that greenish brownish eyes from her is hazel. I did not know what hazel eyes were. I said, I love your greenish brownish eyes. She goes, "You mean hazel? Is that hazel?" It's a running gag even to this day.
She still kept
Yeah, she's like,
"Oh my God, this is
he's
a work
blonde.
in progress."
He is blonde.
We'll get him. Holy shit, the theme's over
I like
already.
dark hair, and I thought she was stunningly.
There we go.
And brains. She has brains.
Yeah. Okay.
So three. I
The
had to do
brains
three in there.
attracted
Brains,
you.
yeah.
There we go. He's not here, but I wrote it for him. So should I read David's? He's living proof that people with leg hair can still be fast.
Yeah.
Because- What did you say the drag was on leg hair? I can't remember what
I rounded up to 20. It's 18.
18 watts. And these guys are flapping around
It's like 40K.
Yeah.
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 Man, that's just crazy. But instead, next he's living proof that the Bulger name will still be known for producing fast cyclists, Mr. Jackson Bulger. How are you, dude?
Good. Yeah.
How's the job with the kids? I almost said BMI. What's the index that'll let you take them outside?
Oh, yeah. The AQI.
Oh, air quality index.
Yeah. It's when it hits 100, then you can't go outside. But it has not hit 100.
So you're able to take them out.
Yes.
Do they
awesome.
handle it very well in 90 plus degree heat?
Yeah. I would say they do for the most part.
Yeah.
Some of them drink water. You have to really remind kids to drink water. It's kind of funny. Like, come over if your face is flush completely red. You got to come over here and have some water and sit in the shade. But they handle it pretty well. They kind of complain, but they always do. That's their thing.
I'm going to lean into that here as we go throughout the night because never mind. I'm going to talk about it later.
Okay.
So what was it that first attracted you to?
It's funny because when you asked me, you said that's easy, right? And it's like there were
really
so many. No, I was gonna say there were so many things.
Oh,
yeah, I know.
Good.
There are.
I only gave 3. Damn it.
Yeah. Shit, I got to come up with more.
I've always said her eyes are attracted me to her, but she has like, this might sound cheesy, but there's a noise. Have you ever recognized noise in your life that feels like home?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Her laugh is like that to me.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
I suck.
I do too. I do too.
So
Mine were so superficial.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I haven't gone yet. So, okay,
yeah.
that's good. Mm-hmm. Okay, there we go. Me, I am living proof that emotional maturity isn't necessarily earned with age. I'm Pat Bulger, and what attracted me to my wife was, honestly, she made me laugh. It was 1,000% she made me laugh right out of the gates. We met in a bar, and it was not her fault that we were in a bar. It was not my fault that we were in a bar. Each of us were with somebody that wanted to go to that specific bar. And so
you were with a guy friend?
I was with a guy friend.
Oh, okay.
She was with a girlfriend. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I made a joke to the guys. I went to the restroom. I said, dude, this is, post college, just right out of college. Dude, there better be 2 hot girls here when I come back from pissing, and I come back and there were 2 girls sitting at the table and he's laughing his ass off. I'm like, holy shit. And there was a hula hoop contest at the DJ was trying to get people out on the floor, and my soon-to-be wife did a hula hoop, and it was the funniest thing I think I'd ever seen. It was so hilariously bad, and she just embraced the fact that it was not going to be good, and I was just like, holy shit, this
and made
is
people
funny.
happy.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. But now she still has a sense of humor, but it's at my expense.
Not necessarily. We had, remember your birthday party.
Yeah.
Your wife and I were bantering over the same thing, same joke over and over again. And we're talking about Australians calling
how
it
Australians call a dick a dick.
We just kept going. It was like 5 minutes later, and she'd come up with something, and I would try and bat back.
Put that on my dick.
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah. I spent all night decorating my dick.
It's like, my friends like to come over and walk all over my dick.
He said something about it last night. We were watching, because we have to watch home improvement channels because that's what she's addicted to. So we're in some kind of a competition, and somebody said dick. She went dick, and she just started going again. I'm like, shut up. Gentlemen, how has the past 7 days been in your cycling life?
Good.
Yeah.
It's been hard with the heat. Just being outside. I've been saying a lot lately that I feel kind of stir crazy because it's just like I feel so dictated by the weather right now. Dictated. Yeah.
I don't know.
Sorry,
we got a new word for the day.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Every time.
But it was good. I have been riding inside when it's too hot. But this week looks like yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's just maintenance, But this week looks like it's actually okay after work and things. So. But our weekend ride was great. I rode the day before on Friday as well, because during summertime I have Fridays off, which is awesome. Ended up with, I think, 78 miles, which is great for not really training for anything at all.
Trying to find something to put on the calendar. Yeah. There's nothing. No, there's nothing like cyclocross, for Christ's sake.
Now, Portland has a criterium series. Mm-hmm. And is there a Swan Island there?
Savi Island.
Savi Island.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a very popular route in Portland. Pan flat, like ridiculously flat. You and I have ridden it.
Okay.
Yeah, it's just once you go over that bridge and it's just that super flat island. Yeah. It's great because it's like, from when I would ride it, I would want to say it's maybe like 20 some. But that was like to my apartment and everything.
There's a crit over there?
There's a crit over there, I think, on that. Oh. I think that's the island.
Yeah, I don't know if there's a crit, but I know Portland has a lot going on.
Paul was saying he found
there
it.
Is.
He saw it.
Yeah. That's great.
So, Obra has, I get there, because I was a member of Obra 10 years ago. And they canceled 2 weekends ago. I think they're like every other weekend, and because it was too hot.
Too hot.
So, but there was something going on all the way into August.
That's cool.
But
That's great.
are we too lazy to go for one race?
I am.
Ah, shit. I think I am too.
I've made that drive a lot.
Yeah, it's just
It's 6 hours, you know,
Yeah.
for 45 minutes.
Yeah, and then I don't know about you guys, and chime in here, but I am kind of at that point where my mind's turned off of bike racing a little bit. In terms of personal,
Really?
I watched the tour all the way through, and that was exciting, and I was into that. But then, like, when I think about doing it myself, I might be in that mindset of, oh, season's over.
Really?
Yeah, it's just because
Really?
once Everett ended, I was like, that's the last thing that I can like visualize on the calendar.
Yeah, and that's to me, that's the problem. Is not finding something to go, okay, physically walk up to a paper calendar and circle the dates.
I mean, I was so excited for Missoula again.
Yeah.
But we
Not
lost
gonna
that.
happen.
Yeah. Bummer.
I need, Paul, how's your last 7 days been?
Saturday was
about
awful. I don't know.
Yeah. What?
I don't know.
What?
I don't know what it was. I took the BMC down because I'm going to just totally strip it down, rebuild it, get ready. I have 2 wax chains set up so I can do my rotations on that.
Nice.
So the bike or the frame that I built up from Jack, it's like practically brand new.
Yeah.
But 2012 brand new. And I've got all the measurements are perfect, and it felt great, but it was just like I never felt like I was on top of my game, and I'm looking down a couple of times across the center line, and Dr. David said, what's wrong with you? And I said, it's brakes are rubbing or something, and I even stopped and spun the wheel.
Yeah.
It's like, what the heck is going on? I just couldn't. I was out of breath. I couldn't. It's just, I don't know. So I think it was dehydration because when I got home, although I drank through the ride and I didn't feel dehydrated, but I was 6 pounds less than I was the day before.
Jesus.
So that could be easily it.
Yeah.
I mean, my pee wasn't like
neon
brown. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, too bright for the sun looking in the
Pee
sun.
didn't look like Tadej Pogacar should claim some sort of ownership of it.
Yeah.
His line is yellow. Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know.
Shit.
But like I said, I don't know if it's my stars aren't lining up.
Yeah.
So that's okay. At least it's not during a race.
Yeah. Amen to that.
Yeah.
Today is the first day in just over 3 weeks that it has been under 95 degrees Fahrenheit in Spokane. Am I correct in that?
Yeah, I think so.
It's been
I think
absolutely.
it was like
insane.
I watched on the news last night. It was 17 days
Yeah. Oh, okay.
that we had our heat wave.
Yeah. And then this weekend's planned in the 80s, which might actually feel cold.
Yeah.
My furnace came on this morning. I forgot to turn it off because when my wife, when she gets up before me this time of year because I'm a teacher in summer, and she would open up a bunch of the windows and leave the back door open so the dogs can go in and out and stuff like that. And I came downstairs to make a cup of coffee, and my feet were warm because there's a heater vent there. And I'm going, oh, shit. I forgot to turn off the damn furnace. And usually, you have that first furnace kick in around mid-September, and it smells horrible because all the dust in the vent and stuff like that. But I forgot to shut it off. But and I did see that on Sunday, and I could be wrong on this, but I could have sworn I read the headline. If it's on the internet, it's true. That Sunday was the hottest day globally in history.
Wow.
So, hey, drink up, folks.
Yeah.
But rack yourself up a ton of credit, a ton of debt because you're not going to pay it off.
No. And then what you do is if the world doesn't end, you just get another credit card, and then you continually pay off that credit card with the other credit card, and you just do it round and around.
Wow.
Sell it all.
That'll never catch up to you.
Yeah.
Nope.
Financial advice with Jackson Bull.
Yep. Fraud's not real.
Do you guys recall a time when things were this hot, where we had this type of a consistent heat wave?
2015. We had, I think, a record of 6 days or something above 100.
Really?
Yeah. And that's where we had all the fires and smoke and stuff like that.
Oh, God.
It was terrible.
It's only July.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean, and I had asked before we started for somebody to come into the show with just kind of a fun random story about dealing with heat. And Paul, you volunteered yourself.
I'm sure.
So
I'll bore everybody.
No, I love story time with Paul. So here as I flap my shirt because it is getting warmer in here already. Oh, it says it's only 73. It feels really hot in here. That's just me.
Poor bastard.
Yeah. Well, yeah. You're a freak with heat.
Yeah, I do like heat. So my story with heat was when I was 14 years old. You're old enough to work on a farm, and so the first thing that happens is you get to so you get to buck bales, and that was like even to this. I just saw somebody that graduated a year ahead of me from the same school at Reardon. Saw something. If you remember these days, and there's guys on a trailer bucking bales, and stacking.
Yeah.
He goes, pass it on, that type of thing. And I'm like, God, that is weird, because I was just thinking about the first time I experienced like heat exhaustion. So at age 14, you just kind of go around and you kind of like prostitute yourself. Like, I can do this. I can, So you find farmers and you want to get near, where you live. So you, especially when you're 14, so your parents don't have to drive you, and I could ride my bike or whatever. So, actually, the place that I started, we go by on Cooley Height on our rides all the time. Course Brutal.
Yeah.
And the farmer raised cattle, and his name is Wayne, and his wife is Henrietta. And if you don't know who Red Fox is.
Oh, God, you are dating yourself.
Gravelly voice.
Hey, what are you doing? I'll get you a job. You like to buck, you look pretty skinny.
Henrietta will fatten you up. So the thing was, you show up at 6 o'clock.
Forgot my checkbook. Gonna have to pay you in change.
That's right. So you wake up early, you eat, you get there at 6 o'clock in the morning, and you get rolling. You go out in the field, and you start, you learn. The first thing you do is they teach you how to buck the bales onto the trailer.
Yeah.
Trailer's pulling by
Did you get
tractor.
the hooks, or did you just have to grab gloves and go into the wire?
Because these were twine and not wire.
Yeah.
And so it's a lot easier. And how to use your leg. And you start, even with my pencil-thin arms, I could toss them up with my legs and stuff. So then once you graduate, you start getting into, they'll get you, so you have one on each side of the trailer throwing it on, and there's a runner who runs the bales to the stacker, and the guy stacks it. And stacking is the most important thing.
Yeah.
Because you have to keep it tight, and each layer is called a tier. So each tier, and you try and get as high as you can, because it's the least amount of trips out to the field.
These are hay bales for people who have no clue what we're talking about. No.
I said hay, but so they're, probably 18, 24 inches, thick.
Yeah.
And probably about the same width. And
if they're mildly wet, they can be heavy as shit.
Yeah, they can be. And you don't want to put them in the barn. So that's the other thing.
Okay.
So Wayne Klaus had a barn burn down. So one of the things when you stack hay, if there's moisture in there, I don't know if you've ever when you put your clippings into a compost, and the heat that comes
super hot,
that'll ignite with hay and burn. Barns do burn down. So in his Red Fox voice,
hey, make sure you salt all those goddamn tiers.
He goes,
I gotta make sure that moisture comes out of those goddamn.
Yeah, that's how he is.
Goddamn. Every tier, I want it salted.
Big Rick. And he goes,
it gives the cows the fucking shits, but it's better than burning down my barn again.
That type of thing. So and I came from a very kind of evangelical Baptist upbringing, and this is like words that I've never heard. And his jokes were like, oh my God. So anyway, they once you're okay and they see you have a little bit of ability, then you start becoming a runner, and then all of a sudden they'll see if you can stack. Well, they accelerated my program, because what you do is you make a run, you go to the barn, you dump it off, and then it starts building up to the barn. So they're trying to get unbeknownst to me, because I'm 14, but I want to prove myself.
Yeah.
They said, you're one of the best stackers I've ever seen.
Oh my God.
They're just stroking me, and give me, because they know towards the end of the day, we start getting up to the rafters, and it's, maybe 80 degrees outside. It's 120 at the top. And I'm the one, because you're such a good stacker.
Oh.
So I'm in there, and you're literally in, like, driving it, these bales, pinching them in, and there's no airflow, none.
Are they doing this because they're just like this?
Well,
this
they're older and
stupid
it's
ass will
salty.
do it.
Salty.
Yeah. Okay.
And then, of course,
so they're telling you
I'm
that you're
14
the best.
years old, and I can't let them down. They're like, do you think you're getting too hot up there? You're slowing down there, Paul. And they use this conveyor belt that shoots it up at you. And it's like I'm falling behind because I'm like, now I'm starting to stagger because of heat. And I'm like, God dang it, I've got hair on my nuts. I can do this. This is what I'm thinking. And so I'm getting in there, and finally, we break for lunch, and then we go. And then Henrietta makes, like you always had, because they're cattle farmers, you had 2 pizzas, you had like roast beef, or pot roast, that
Salted.
type of thing.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. And then you had like some kind of fish, 2 different salads, and you didn't get to pick. She plated you.
Oh.
Wow.
And because I was skinny, and it would be rude if I didn't like potatoes with gravy and pot roast.
What?
I mean, she fed you like you wouldn't believe, in carrots.
This is in the middle of the day?
2 salads and a dessert. This is at lunch break. So
Oh my God.
I remember walking out feeling
crazy.
like a whale.
Yeah.
And then leaned up against a tree and let's go. It's time to go. And I'm up in that heat with a full belly.
Oh, fuck.
And I was just like miserable. And then pretty soon I started getting like nauseous. And I thought it couldn't be Henrietta's good cooking. But, I mean, I was seeing double and stuff, and they could see the signs. And they said, you need to come down. No, I'm okay. I'm okay. But at least I knew my limits. Now I know what heat exhaustion was. I mean, I was shaking. I was like,
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, my
So
God.
that's crazy. Wow.
Yeah.
I don't know if I've ever been that. Well, yeah, I have. But and Jackson, you could, potentially incriminate me by the answer to this question. But across the board, do you guys ever recall a time when your parents kept you inside because of the heat?
Never.
See,
We had sprinklers.
Yeah. We had sprinklers too.
That's so interesting because Marie and I were like talking about it the other day. And we were just saying how, first of all, it doesn't really feel like it ever got this hot during our childhood. I don't remember like 17 straight days of 95 and up. I remember what we would,
Yeah.
I remember we would sometimes hear you'd thumbtack a towel on the dining room window so it wouldn't get so hot in the house because we don't have obviously AC here. But I don't know what it was. I remember like going to soccer practice and it would be 130 degrees on the turf and we'd be like, all right, boys, like get out there. Let's get to it. But no, I don't remember like you keeping me in.
Yeah, I seriously am struggling with it. And, it's funny you mentioned that, Jackson, that because for so long, I mean, we still don't have central air conditioning in this house. Before the show starts, I have to shut off the window AC here in the studio because it's loud as hell. We have another one upstairs in our living room, and we have a third one upstairs in our bedroom, just the portable ones. Because it's always been the concept that in Spokane you would have 2 weeks of 90s plus, and that was it.
Not anymore.
And it doesn't, of course, depending on your political lean, the climate has changed, and we're dealing with these bouts of hotter temperatures. But I don't ever remember telling you, "No, we got to stay inside. We can't go out." And I think are we? Is it the climate, or are we just becoming more pansified?
Yeah, which is strange because there's public
That's not a word.
pools, and we would go to lakes.
Yeah.
I mean, it was a hot day. You knew was coming, and we would go to a lake.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that was that. So, but there was no reason to be, because we didn't have central air either.
Yeah.
Growing up.
My
And
living
so
room would get mid 80s,
we'd hit 90s in our old house.
Yeah.
Before we got AC.
I mean, as somebody who does work with like school age and pre-K children, you do like I've said prior, like we have a chart of what it is okay and not okay to go outside in. And then even with the school that I work at, we don't have any sort of air conditioning. We have portable AC units.
Yeah.
And you'd be surprised at, like, for instance, my classroom's in a basement, and the temperature difference is it's vast. And so I think that just like the thought of being inside keeps you at such a different temperature.
Really?
But then also, one thing that I've come to find out this summer is that if water is included, so like if you go to like a lake, or if you go to a pool or something like that, that changes it entirely, because they do have an active cooling system.
The evaporative cooling.
Exactly, that they're constantly like receiving. So it's just like it's such a weird scale. But now I think that we actually know now we know scientifically the effects of what heat does to us. I mean, you were up at the roof of a barn. Yeah. So thank you for all.
Wayne calls up. Hey, we better not do that anymore.
Thank you for your sacrifice.
I was going to say thank you for your sacrifice. We now know because of you that we can't put children in those situations.
He knows what it did to my frontal lobe. Probably just deformed it. And it never did develop.
Oh yeah, those are just you're good.
Yeah.
Do you guys consider yourself someone who is, quote, good in the heat? And when I say that, I it's so funny that some people, are no, I'm terrible in the heat because, I'm sweating like crazy and it's miserable. People who are, quote, good in the heat are sweating like crazy and it's miserable. But some people are just more inclined to be okay with that type of suffering. Would you say that?
Mm-hmm. I am definitely.
I am as well.
Yeah.
Or do you? Yeah.
Yeah.
I hate it. But I've always been okay with it. I mean, I've always made it through. Mm-hmm. I don't want to ride in extreme heat, but I'm okay with it. And I don't know. It's just an interesting inclination. Do you think it's obviously got to be just a mental thing? Mm-hmm. Would we agree?
I don't know. Your body does take training to it.
Yeah.
Really?
There are specific like heat training techniques. If there's a writer on EF, his name's Harry Sweeney, excuse me, and he makes YouTube videos, and he actually does show his lead up to the Tour de France, even though he wasn't selected, which sucks. And he did heat training, and so it was like 105. He did his whole entire training, like training for the day, and then he comes back to his apartment and he sits in 105 bath for like 30 minutes.
Wow.
Like kid on and everything, yeah. And so like your body does take some sort of heat training to it. So it's not just like boom, you're good in it.
You're right. I think about, for example, people who produce more sweat than others, or people who produce higher salt sweat than others. This is where we need David here to talk about these types of things, because I think that would make a difference. Mm-hmm. How much you're able to again create evaporative cooling for yourself. Yeah. Oh God! How about smoke season? Do you guys ever recall smoke seasons when you were younger?
No,
not like this.
No,
I don't either. And
knock on wood, we've had not too bad.
Yeah, we've had a couple, but there's I don't ever recall in my life days, weeks where it felt like a foggy morning. I mean, because it's so bad. You can't see across the street.
I was talking about these last couple of days or last couple of weeks, reminding me almost of what our smoke is like. Mind you, I would way rather take 95 to 106 degrees over the smoke, but they just have very similar feelings. Like they're keeping you inside. If you go exercise outside, like a lot of people would say it's dangerous.
Yeah.
It's just, they feel the same in terms of like how it makes me feel.
Okay, I'm going to be, it's time to be honest. We're talking about heat and sun and summer. How good are you guys about sunscreen? Especially, I guess I could say in our cycling lives. But, for example, I apply, actually, technically, I apply every morning because I have a morning, I have a moisture routine.
Yeah.
I have a jug of, not a jug, a little bottle of face lotion. It's honestly, it's by, who's it by? Duke Cannon. It's called Every Damn Day Lotion. And I just think it's hilarious. And it's got like a 30 SPF in it. So I put it on my face every morning. Always have. And then when I go out and ride, I make sure to apply. But you go out and ride, they say to reapply like every hour or something like that. So how come I'm not, bright red lobster crisp? I mean, how good are you guys? Paul's shaking his head. He's like,
I've never had it.
Really?
I think there's times where I had to use it, like, again, bucking bales at a certain point.
Yeah.
You're out, 10-hour days in the sun stuff, so
you're just inclined.
Well, I was probably covered with dirt and anyway.
Yeah.
So and hay, and stuff. So yeah, I mean, I've never applied it. I think a couple of times my wife had me put it on. So, but
if I don't, I come back bright red. And I don't tan. I burn and I peel. Mm-hmm. That is unfortunate. My curse. I don't know, Jackson. Did you inherit that?
No, so I now during these months will put sunscreen on every ride. But I burn, but I do tan.
You do?
Yeah. I noticed that even throughout once it gets out of that March, February, even April now, because we always have kind of shitty Aprils.
Yeah.
I start to get that tan, but it's weird. I feel like that when I go on rides, I don't get a sunburn. I don't know what it is, but if I'll just sit like on the beach, I'll get a sunburn. There's probably science behind that. But yeah, I'm not very good on it day to day. I do, like I said, I do work at a school and we do go out for recess and I have to hide in the shade a lot of the times because I don't have sunscreen on. And I've talked to my wife. I need to put it on. It's just, you get in a morning routine and then like you're in that morning routine and then you have to like add another aspect to it. It messes the whole thing up.
I don't put it on if I don't expect myself to be spending a lot of time outside. Like, for example, if I'm going to go outside and work in the yard, I'll put it on or something like that. If I'm like going out my day-to-day routine or something like that, sometimes I'll be outside, doing something and I'll get distracted and I'll, I'll start mowing the lawn. It's only going to take me 20 minutes to mow the lawn. I'm not going to put it on. But if I'm going out and I suddenly get distracted, it's like, holy shit, this needs to be taken care of. Yeah, I'll probably put it on, but
well, it's a question to ask Dr. David because there's a parallel with lack of vitamin D and cancer.
Okay.
So
there is.
northern, and if I remember, this is a long time ago because my GP was asking how, because he actually ended up dying, but of cancer.
No,
I'm serious.
Not skin cancer.
No.
Okay.
No, it was
that would have been
else.
horrible.
I think it was thyroid. But anyway, and probably that's why he was doing the study. I wasn't aware of it at the time. He was a super nice guy. And he asked, how much exposure. And I think it was his own study and that type of thing. He was probably calculating. He was telling me about that northern people in the northern states of the United States or northern countries in Europe and around the world have a higher rate of skin cancer than those who are down low. Well, then you have like nationalities with pigment that can deal with it, blah, blah, blah. So it's kind of convoluted a little bit, but there is a parallel. Well, he was asking because you spend at least 15 minutes at that time was like at 15 minutes unprotected from the sun riding your bike, you should be okay. As opposed, otherwise he was going to give me supplements for vitamin D. So the lack of vitamin D, people not drinking milk, or that has vitamin D or whatever.
Yeah.
And this is where again, might have all changed, but that was probably 12 years ago when he was telling me this. So, Dr. David,
there we go
to see what he.
Well, it's really interesting because my wife already takes a vitamin D supplement. And this September I'm going to start doing it too because those colder months, it's just like
you're not exposed.
No, you're not exposed to it. Your body needs it, but also like emotionally.
You need it as well. Seasonal affective disorder. I am rampant with it because I'm in windowless basements for majority of my working life, and it's just without that sun, I go bonkers.
Get that USP rating and buy away.
There we go. How about hydration? Talk to me. I know we all know as cyclists how important it is, but how are you guys in terms of your water consumption throughout the day. I know Jackson it's a generational thing. You guys tend to walk around, and I'm sorry I said you guys, like I put you all into this little bubble and just went, that's all them guys these days, they're Riz. But you walk around with a bottle all the time.
Yeah.
How many ounces of water do you say you drink a day?
Honestly, probably not enough. So when I go to work,
don't say not enough, because
well, I know that you guys are going to say like,
hold my beer.
I haven't drank an ounce in 30 years.
There's a skunk.
There's water in beer, right?
Yeah.
Right. I have a 32 ounce water bottle that I bring to work. Usually I'll drink like 1 and almost 2/3 of it. And then I'll come home and I have a 40 ounce, like tumbler cup. And I will probably have 1.5 of those. So
Holy shit. Okay.
it's a good amount, but like my wife drinks way more water than I do. She does like probably like 4 of those 40 ounce things in one day.
Wow.
Yeah.
God damn it.
And then like that's what you're supposed to do though,
Yeah.
which is wild. Now I'm really excited to see what you guys do.
I don't know if I want to answer that. Paul, go ahead.
Well, I'll start off. When I go to bed, I have like it's just shy of a liter.
Yeah.
In fact, it's probably under 30 ounce thermal bottle that I fill up by my bedside. If I get thirsty in the middle of the night, I drink it. And if it's not all drank by the time I wake up, I down it and I go start work.
Yeah.
And do stuff. I have another exact same bottle filled up for all day at work. When I come home, I usually have at least 16 ounces, and then dinner time anywhere from 20 to 32 ounces of water, and that's my routine. Then between dinner water, and night water, I have this golden water.
Yeah. It's beautiful.
Yeah, it's
golden
very
water.
good.
Yeah.
And it tastes better.
Belgian monks have
And it's a lot
perfected
easier.
water.
The problem is that it's a lot easier to drink 32 ounces of that.
Right? Why can't this be good for us?
Yeah, I know. Yeah. It is.
Who wrote the fucking
kidney
rules?
function? My kidney function's got to be great because of this golden fluid.
For sure.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm sure of it. Yeah, I don't even need to be tested. I know.
No.
Yeah.
It's like when the immune system gets sick, you just try and get sick more so it gets stronger. It's the same exact mechanism.
That which doesn't kill me.
Yep,
There we go. I am working. I'm a work in progress with my hydration. I'm not going to lie to you guys. There would be days where I would take a 32-ounce Nalgene bottle to work and come home with a 28-ounce Nalgene bottle.
Oh, yeah.
Just because
We've
I
all
get
done
distracted and I'm like, I'm not thirsty, you know. It's not like I'm drinking 12 Diet Cokes or anything like that. I would get distracted.
You like the taste of scratch.
I very much do.
So you know why? What's his name? The guy that started it.
Alan Lim.
Yeah, Alan Lim.
Yeah.
So the problem was that people just drinking straight water, they didn't feel like they're thirsty.
Yeah.
So that some of the benefits of getting that salt in there is that makes you thirsty, which also then causes you to drink. So what you should be doing is taking some scratch. And they just released a daily hydration.
I have 2 bags of it. It's so funny. I mean, this is not an intended sponsor mention, but I did. I got the salted margarita and I got the tangerine orange, and so what I do now is, and I'm working, I'm doing the work, I'm baby stepping.
Yeah.
And my goal is to fill a 32-ounce bottle 3 times a day. And that's not enough for a person my size. I know it's not enough, but give me some fucking break, man. If I can get the 96 ounces of water in per day, I'm doing okay. And so usually what I'm doing now is I now, honestly, the scratch came 5 days ago. And so I've been putting, they're little tiny scoops in the everyday hydration. And I put 2 in a 32 ounce because it says 1 scoop per 16 ounces. And so I'll if I see the bottle on the counter at noon, I'll go, shit, I'm supposed to have had that already. And so sometimes I catch myself slamming 32 ounces of water. It's getting in.
Yeah.
It's getting in the tank. So my goal is to finish that bottle 3 times a day. And I don't know how people do it. And I'm bad on rides. I'm really bad on rides.
Yeah.
But you don't even take water. You just take.
No, I usually on a ride I take 1 bottle of Scratch and 1 bottle of water.
That should be correct.
The water is simply many times because I sweat so much. My glasses get disgusting, so I hose down my face with it.
That's fair.
It's still getting in, right?
Yeah, exactly.
But I'll come home and I'm not thirsty. I know the old adage, if you're thirsty, it's too late.
Yeah.
But I don't even get that, and I come home and I'm fine. And and I'll sit back and I'll go, God damn it, I got a bottle and a half of water after 40 miles and 80-degree heat.
That's crazy.
What's wrong with me?
Yeah, this last weekend I had 2 20-ounce bottles of. I'm kind of finding out that I prefer to drink what I need to eat, and so I do the Scratch Super Fuel or super high carb mix, just on like rides like we do, and I don't feel hungry, but I also emptied both of them.
Yeah.
By the time I had gotten home, and so you did not have
No
20-ounce bottles.
I didn't. I had I don't know 18 ounce bottles. Yeah.
And I was telling my wife too that sometimes when we'll be on a ride, I'll look over at Paul and I'll see his face is as red as the Scratch bottles that he comes to the ride with, and she'll be like, "Oh,
he's embarrassed.
That's probably a heavy dehydration."
I always turn red with effort.
Yeah,
even when I'm hydrated.
Really
Yeah.
interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I get red in the face. Playing basketball, football, whatever. My face turns red.
I just know some people when they get dehydrated,
Or when I shit my pants in
like
public,
that.
it gets red.
Well,
too.
that makes sense. That makes sense.
And before any of you listening suddenly start to grab your phones and start sending me notes about how stupid I am, I know. Stop it.
Have you not listened to the show?
Yes.
Yeah.
I was bike racing when your idea of a good time was having a popsicle
And we
and
only
watching
had
Bugs
one
Bunny.
bottle cage.
Yeah.
On the down tube.
Yeah.
That's right.
The good old days.
Yeah. We had to drink Max. And that stuff, that much.
Cytomax.
That stuff was just Max. Mm. And if you got Max on your bike, if it got on your bike, it wouldn't come off.
And the paint would.
Yeah.
The paint.
Wow.
I'm not joking.
Think about what that did to your
This was
gut.
a powder we put into our drinks, and we drank it because we
They're
thought it
no
was good for
longer
us.
in business.
It's so weird.
That's crazy.
Yeah. But then again, we grew up drinking out of hoses. So,
Yeah.
I mean, none of us are keeling over. I mean, come on. The hose water tastes funny, but
No,
it's,
Mr.
you let it run for a
AFib,
minute.
You're okay.
That's not from hose water. Come on. What's your breaking point when it comes to heat, when it comes to temperature? I mean, let's say on a training day, you guys have pulled off a miracle and you got me out of bed early enough to actually leave for a ride on Saturday.
Yeah.
We left at 8:30. And I know that I saw there was a group in Spokane that did 100 miles that day.
103.
103 miles that day. So what time did
Our
they
buddy
leave?
Dan was part of it.
Really?
Yeah.
What time did they leave?
They leave at like 5.
5:30.
Yeah.
What is no.
Right?
No.
I have no problems. I'm up by that
You
point.
do it?
Yeah. Easy. But I don't need to. So
Yeah.
why
Yeah.
would I?
Yeah.
I'm making coffee, relaxing,
Yeah.
waiting for my lazy ass teammates to get out of bed.
Yeah.
You
Well,
know,
I
that
need
type
my
of thing.
beauty rest. What you see before you takes work.
I just like.
Oh, yeah.
I agree. I don't feel
I
like
can
there's.
see it.
Yeah. I don't feel like there's any reason for me to like. Oh God, early bird gets the worm. Got to get out of bed and hate myself.
I
Yeah.
like riding in the heat, so I'm not going to do it to beat the heat.
Yeah.
And if it's on the weekend, it's not like I'm doing it before work.
Yeah.
So why do it?
Yeah.
Is there a cutoff when it comes to a race, if in terms of heat, where
No,
you would be like,
I
no
would
way,
race
really?
Yeah.
in the desert.
Yeah.
Just give me water
Yeah.
and scratch.
I mean,
Jackson,
we did.
What'd we hit at BWR?
I was gonna say we did 114.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna be honest. When we entered that canyon, I couldn't tell. I was like, oh, this is hot. And I unzipped my jersey, but I was like, I was fine. I never even noticed that it was as hot as it was until I saw you not fine.
You know what? That wasn't heat. Well, it was heat because it was dehydration. It just, I was cooked.
It was so interesting, too.
Because
we
you
were
don't drink. You
I
need to start
know.
drinking.
Yeah,
I know.
Yeah.
Jeez.
It was just interesting, too, because we weren't like that deep into it.
No. We were 50, 60 miles in kind of thing, right? And I hit a bad patch. Mm-hmm. But then I slammed, heaven forbid, hydration and slowly just kind of diesel battery backed into the whole thing.
Yeah.
And finished before Jackson. I need these moments.
I just don't have the stores.
We won't say what those stores are.
I took that personally.
It was 11 hours.
Yeah.
I don't have 11 hours of that.
No.
And by the way,
Here,
this
pinch
is,
my back. I don't have stores.
This is 100% where my cycling life is going, and I'm still going to race the short and fast races with you guys, but I'm starting to, everybody has their place, and when I was younger, many times when I would do well is when the races would go on. I mean, longer races, stage races. I remember going to Mammoth back when we had, for juniors, we had a 5-6 day stage race. Mm-hmm. And as the race progressed, I got better. And I don't know if it's because I got better. I think it's because everybody got more tired and I was just, holding as it was. Just like, we're going to talk about the tour here shortly. But I think that's my nut. And I kind of do well at that kind of stuff.
Well,
So
I think there's different because for me, the first time I did stage races, that I wasn't all that good at the beginning, but everybody tired down.
Yeah.
And then I placed usually in the top 10, just was, well, it always ended in a crit. So that was more on my type of thing instead of going up a mountain. But nevertheless, I could ride the next day, but anytime an effort goes beyond 80 miles, I come unhinged.
See,
but I could do 80 miles every single day, or 50, 60 of variance there.
Yeah.
I'm okay. But, man, you take me past 80.
My body becomes a metronome. I can just keep going. And,
You shut the brain off?
Duh. I did in 1989, and it worked for me this far.
That's when you got into rowing. That's what happened.
Yeah. Huh? Do whatever the girl at the front of the boat says.
Little coxswain.
Yeah. She tells me what to do.
I want ball. What are you talking about?
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so we got three of us who would no matter how hot, keep going.
Yeah.
Okay.
If it's a race, I'm going.
Yeah. Not going to stop me.
Okay, there we go. We gotta jump. We gotta jump to a second gear because I don't know if you guys know, a little event happened, otherwise known as the Super Bowl of cycling. Let's jump to the recap of the biggest race of the cycling season, 2024 Tour de France concluded on Sunday with a third Tour win for the one and only Tadej Pogačar, as well as his sixth stage win. 6 stages in this year's edition. Rounding out the top 3, Jonas Vingegaard at 6:17. Remco Evenepoel 9:18 back. Yeah. These are not small gaps for what we thought it was going to be, and then you jump to Joao Almeida, mind you, a teammate of Tadej at 19:03, just off the podium. 19 minutes back. The top 10 still, half an hour down. Santiago Petrago from Bahrain victorious at 29:03 back. This makes Tadej part of a very select group of riders to win the Giro and the Tour in the same year. Also making history was Binyam Girmay, winning the first green jersey for his home country of Eritrea, as well as being the first African to achieve such. And also, in case you didn't pay attention, Mark Cavendish was the all-time Tour stage victory record with 35 stage wins.
Which could be broken.
Yeah.
I was going to say, I really did want to comment on that Tadej is already 9th on that list of all-time Tour stage winners.
And he's 24.
And he broke
25.
25.
25 will be 26 this year. So he's at his age. He already broke a Merckx record. It's the longest leading a Grand Tour in a season.
Yeah.
He's already broken that record.
35 days.
Yeah, 35 days, and it was 34 with Merckx, I think, or maybe it was 33.
By the way, Cav was also last in GC. He was Lanterne Rouge.
He wasn't when it started on TT.
No, he
was
just
his
pulled it
teammate.
off.
Yeah,
yeah.
his teammate.
Do you think they were actually like going? No,
No, did you watch his
30
TT?
seconds on me? Yeah,
When he got over the hill, he looked at the camera.
he was
and
going.
Like, whoa!
Yeah.
That was it.
He
tried.
was not. He
No.
was not sitting up.
Yeah, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you know. So first off, first question, which is usually the last question, letter grade for the tour, this year's tour. And it's Jackson Yawns.
No, I loved it. I thought it was an A. I'll give it that.
Yeah.
Everybody fought all the way through.
Yep. Same.
Yeah, me too.
There
Me
wasn't.
too.
There really wasn't a boring stage, even with the time gaps. You would think.
Yeah.
Those same time gaps back in the Sky days or during the Unspeakable Person from the United States. You know, if they had those time, it was boring the last week. It was like. You just let everybody else.
There were times where I remember watching some tours, and I can't remember who won them because I remember 3 stages in, you're going, shit, it's over.
Like Miguel Andrin.
Yeah.
The first TT, he would put 4 minutes on everybody.
Yeah.
It's just
You're just like,
all you're doing is
what
watching
about
to
it?
see if he comes unwound, and the next TT comes and.
Yeah.
Yeah, that sucks.
It was boring. What were some of your favorite moments from this year's tour? And I know I'm sitting here flashing memories. You know, of course, Cavs win. God, who's the
Campenarts.
Yeah, Victor Campenarts.
Yeah.
win.
That's both of those are mine.
Yeah.
And the gravel stage I think it was very, very good.
Does gravel belong in a tour?
Yep.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't like, TJ Van Gardenen, back when he was racing, he complained about doing like Paris-Roubaix cobblestones. It doesn't belong there. And it's always, to me, it's like everybody, if that's not your forte, they complain.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
The Tour de France was originally 400 kilometer stages or 430 or whatever.
Yeah.
Right. And that's not in everybody's book, it's evolved obviously, and it's kind of now shorter stages than they used to be for TV and more interesting. That's where the money is. That's the direction. If you want to get paid that money, I'm sounding like a hard ass.
Yeah.
Like somebody who was stuck up at 14 years old in the rafters stacking hay.
Didn't cook your brain, just made it harder.
No, I'm fine. But you're getting paid big bucks. Mm-hmm. This is a form of entertainment, and god dang, that was an entertainment. Stage 9 was an entertaining stage.
Yeah.
When every once in a while, I don't think they need to have it 2 times. 2 stages on gravel. No.
A week of gravel, yeah.
Yeah, that suspense, and even as somebody who races, and I know that even Vanderpool wanted to win that stage, and it didn't work out for him. Mm-hmm. In my opinion, he kind of was a little pouty about, well, they're going to make the tour like this. Why would anybody come unless you were a GC guy or, sprinters are not even coming. You're a sprinter or a GC guy, and it's like, quit pouting. It changes every year. This year wasn't your year.
Yeah.
So.
Stages for me, I for the first time in a while enjoyed a lot of the mountain stages. I thought a lot of those were really entertaining. Seeing it wasn't what we've seen from the Sky days where it was just one team hits the front and everybody else suffers. There were a lot of stories going on in front of just the GC battle. I mean, watching Richard Carapaz, who I thought I was very, very happy that he won that KOM jersey.
So is John Vaughters.
Yeah, they needed that. But he was so exciting to watch. Even past his stage win, he was just so aggressive. But then also to see just the sheer dominance of one rider within 1 year, it really felt like we were witnessing something that was really special. I mean, and I even enjoyed the stage where Tadej attacked and then Jonas brought him back and then went on to win that stage. That was something we did not expect.
That was absolutely, because one of my questions was going to be if we should speculate on what could have been if Jonas didn't crash.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess we could speculate because the pontificators are going to. Last year, Tadej crashed.
Yeah.
With a broken wrist. So mean, I guess it just leads to more. Holy shit! I can't wait for next year when both these and hopefully both these guys have a clean health record going in.
Yeah,
and, in terms of how that all plays out.
I mean, I thought that stage where Jonas was able to win really kind of like put the end to one of those cliffhanger chapters in a book and just lit the fire under Pogača.
Yeah.
I think it just made him realize I lost a stage. Now I need to step on the throat. It was like it really felt that way.
Yeah.
It was cool.
I think we saw some emotion out of Jonas Vingegaard too.
Yeah.
Which, yes, it was hard to watch, but I think it got him a lot more fans in the long run here. I don't know. It sounds weird saying this, but I think getting second place and fighting for second place was probably one of the best things to happen to Jonas Vingegaard, because last year he came across as almost robotic with how he did what he did, just in such a commanding fashion. Now, Tadej did that very same thing this year.
Well, I think on that, Tadej is very an animated character, and the Danes are not known for being very, outwardly,
Right.
and they tell exactly what it is, and anything unnecessary, you don't express anything. If you watch Vingegaard's interviews, they're very, straight to the point, nothing extra, and Tadej's, very animated, like I said, and I want to backtrack a little bit about Vingegaard just being a little bit short because of his injuries. His was really way worse than Tadej's, but nevertheless, you can see the preparation for the tour is major. You get on that third week, if you don't have that, that third week in you, it's going to show up.
And that's where it did.
Because Vingegaard was there, and he just ran out of gas.
Yeah.
In just 1 or 2 days. But he had a great time trial. I think he was coming back around. And that's what happened to Tadej last year.
Yeah.
Vingegaard this year. So
there are, to all the keyboard warriors out there who started to complain of the fact that Tadej won 6 stages, and I actually saw posts saying that that I used to like him and now I don't, because he was so selfish about taking wins. Jackson, your facial expression tells me perfectly. It's like, what the fuck? Your thoughts on Tadej being too selfish in taking 6 stage wins?
I mean, this is professional sport. Nothing is earned in professional, or nothing is gifted in professional sport. Everything is earned, and so I think that to suggest that is a little bit foolish. I mean, these guys weren't just like, oh, sure, you can have this spot on the tour team.
Yeah,
like, sure, Tadej Pogačar is probably one of the, if not the best riders we're going to ever see, but he also has to earn that spot.
Yeah,
he didn't just get it because he's got the big name.
There are millions and millions of dollars on the line here.
100%. Yeah. And you need to be the right rider for the right moment. And so to say that he needs to gift other things to other riders is kind of stupid, in my opinion.
Yeah, I don't believe that at all, unless it's your teammate, and then you could see
right.
Sepp Kuss, the arguments there. Right?
Wout van Aert with was that Christophe Laporte?
Yeah, Laporte.
Yeah.
I mean, all those, to me, then that's, and even Carapaz and Mikhail Kwiatkowski last year, or was it 2 years ago? I can't remember. But, their teammates, somebody had to give up,
Yeah.
So that's the excuse.
Stage 1, Romain Bardet.
And you never know. You never know, because even the last mountain climb, Tadej, in fact, that's part of my segment. I'm going to talk about him. But Tadej, you don't know if you crashed or your bike failed or something like that. You could lose 2 or 3 minutes, or a bad day on top of a crash.
Yeah,
on top of that. I mean, I would be grabbing every second I could.
Bad chicken breast at dinner. And you're in deep shit tomorrow. I just Paul, if this is the topic you're going to talk about in your segment, I will shut up. But I'm pretty sure the guy everybody keeps comparing Tade to didn't give away stages.
No, I never did. Never.
And what makes you... And he's not doing it to be a prick.
No.
He's... that's one of the things I love about this current generation is everybody seems to be pretty respectful to each other.
Yeah.
You don't have to like each other, but everybody's being pretty respectful. And I like that.
Well, and I'll, because I'm a boxing fan.
Yeah.
As a general rule, in boxing, they don't hate each other. It's always strange at the end of if you watch a boxing match, they congratulate. There is some bad moments.
Yeah.
And there's some bad people. But they usually like, you're a warrior, and they can congratulate the winner, and the loser congratulates each other.
Yeah.
So that's a part of sport and sportsmanship I like to see personally, as opposed to, we had an American that was a total asshole that won 7 tours supposedly.
Yeah.
But I don't like that attitude. That everybody's your enemy and not,
It just makes people angry.
Yeah,
it
does nothing for the sport, and I think that might be, and I could be terribly wrong. People are probably going to shout at me, but Legions of LA, those guys they had that attitude, like, this is our land.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You don't, and
which bravado was one thing,
yeah, I agree with you.
but being a dick is people don't want to pay money to put their logo on the jersey of a dick.
Well,
Deek.
Dick.
there's a Deek.
There's a jersey on my dick.
I mean, the
Get your wife down here.
The team that we were just speaking of did lose genuinely everything. Helmet sponsors, glasses sponsors, kit sponsor, bike sponsor.
Really?
Schramm was the only one that stayed with him.
Yeah.
Like, they lost everything.
And riders.
Yeah,
Just
like
out
a
of-
shite load of riders. One of the founding members
Yeah.
left.
Okay. I was going to go through and I love that I write a show out and I have to throw stuff out. I was going to allow you guys a moment to give every team a letter grade, but we can't go through that in that much time.
No.
But are there any teams you would consider failing grades from the tour? Any teams that you're just like, oh my God, back to the drawing boards. Are there any teams that pop into mind? Decathlon, Ajay Dozer didn't come away with much.
Groupama.
And Groupama,
FDG.
another one.
Groupama FDG.
Apparently their bikes are too heavy.
Well, David Gaudu also had a stinker of a 3 weeks.
Groupama's on the same.
Actually, that was Cofidis who was complaining about the heavy bikes.
Okay, because I was going to say
Martin.
Groupama's on the same bikes that Astana's on. Yeah,
it was my mistake. It was Martin.
Cofidis, I think.
Yeah, that's who it is.
I think somebody cursed that team a long time ago, and they are still reeling in it. They can't find something to work. I'm looking through. Total Energies had a stage win. Uno X was animated.
I would say that was a successful tour for them.
Yeah. UAE, Jaco, DSM had a great. Soudal Quickstep obviously came out well. EF had a wonderful tour, animated as hell. Ineos, I think, is not going to be happy with how this whole thing turned out. COVID is shit. Bora Hansgrohe, Red Bull Bora Hansgrohe.
They'll be disappointed.
Yeah.
Jai Hindley is the only shining star of that team.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Bahrain victorious. Oh, by the way, have you heard the rumors? I could be wrong.
About Bora?
Bora and a rider for next year?
Yeah, from Quickstep.
From Soudal Quickstep?
Oh.
Guy who likes Pizza Hut?
Yep.
Oh. That is an honorable mention. He did well.
Yep.
Way
Red
better.
Coat.
I was saying on
Absolutely.
exactly. I was saying on Sunday he was not the guy I expected to be in third place, and he
fought the whole way.
Yeah, fought and was strong.
And we saw some incredible emotional maturity growth from that guy.
Yeah.
He is not the bratty punk. I don't know. There was a while when I was watching him going, I don't know if I'm going to like this guy. And watching him grow throughout this 3 weeks, I've been like, shit.
Yeah.
I'm on
Might
board.
be the real deal.
Yeah.
Got to get him away from Patrick Lefevre, and maybe things will click better. No offense to Patrick, but
You're never going to get him on the show.
Don't air your dirty laundry in the press. Air your dirty laundry in the team bus.
Jonathan Votter said about Carapaz. He says he doesn't train hard enough. They were asking
He
him
did
about
say that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Says the guy who really seemed like one of the strongest riders of the 3
Yeah.
weeks.
Oh my God,
I mean,
his
whole
third week.
team- Well, he's doing something right.
Yeah.
His third week was unbelievable.
Yeah.
Movistar, I think, it needs to figure out what the hell they're doing.
My God.
I never realized
They've never figured it out.
I never realized Enric Mas's thing until I started watching up close, and actually Ant McCrossan and Nico Roche actually providing a little insight into how Michelle's home.
Yeah.
Can you hear
Yeah.
that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's on the deck.
Well, she'll go. She's just parking the car. And she'll get on
She'll
the
be on the
dick.
deck.
On your
You're-
dick.
You're right. They did really bring some sort of attention to that about how he just like doesn't really animate.
He
anything.
grits his teeth, pretends he's tired, and hops on
yeah.
a wheel.
Yeah.
You know.
Sorry, I know that we're getting into the weeds a little bit, but Ben Healy is another rider I think that really deserves an honorable
Absolutely.
mention. Great tour.
Yeah, yeah. EF had a really strong
Yeah.
tour.
Yeah, yeah.
And I think they should walk away because we all know that they are probably half the budget that some of these other
Sure.
other major
Yeah.
teams have.
Yeah.
And Jonathan Vaughters will tell you that.
A lot.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
a shitload.
Yeah, exactly. So we gotta settle the points, and I'm just gonna be pissed. As we said earlier, it was stage results 5, 3, 2, and 1, depending on the top
Right.
4. Final jersey for the yellow was 30, and other jerseys were 20. My good friend David over at Bike Race Info actually provided us with results of every stage, and so we could kind of go through them quickly, and everybody could tally their points.
Already.
Okay.
You already did?
I have all the way through stage 4.
Okay, I don't have anything. Stage 1, I will go quickly. Romain Bardet, Vandenbroek, Wout van Aert.
There's a point for me.
Fourth was Tadej Pogacar.
We don't do 4th.
We do 5, 3, 2, 1.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
Well,
So
Well,
that's
I
a
changed
1
that.
point.
So then I have not.
So I have 1 there. Stage 1.
Okay.
Stage 2, Romain Bardet. No. Stage 2. I can't read that far away.
Stage 2.
I'll bring it over here.
Okay.
Kevin Vacalin. Nobody had him. Abramson, Quentin Pacher, Christian Rodriguez. Nobody had any of those, right?
Not at this table.
Not at
Nope.
this table.
We didn't
If
guess
you-
that one.
3, Biniam Gourmet, Fernando Gaviria, Arnaud Delis, and Mads Pedersen.
Yay for you.
Yeah, shit. Mads.
We all ate crow with no one taking Gourmet.
Oh, absolutely. Oh, come on, Mouse. Come on, Mouse.
But to be fair, I didn't because I chose Jasper Philipsen, who got the exact same amount of wins.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, now we're back. We on stage 4?
Yes.
Oh, shit. Tadej Pogacar. I'm not going to count the points
No,
because
you
it-
gotta.
you
'cause
gotta,
everybody
yeah.
else does.
Okay, so I got to
that's
add
5.
5.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Remco Evenepoel, Juan Ayuso, and Primoz Roglic. Primoz let me down too. Stage 6, Mark Cavendish, Jasper Philipsen, Alexander Kristoff, Arnaud Delis.
Oh, so what's for a second? We have 3.
4. No, 3.
Three.
There is
3.
no 4. Yeah.
So Arnaud Delis was 4th.
Arnaud Delis
one,
was
1
4th.
point.
Okay.
Stage 6, Dylan Groenewegen, Biniam Gourmet, Fernando Gaviria, Phil Bauhaus. Next stage, 7, Remco Evenepoel, Tadej Pogacar. So I got to add 3, right?
Mm-hmm.
Primoz Roglic.
Not so bad, huh?
Yeah. Jonas Vingegaard.
So that was Tade in 2nd and
Tadej second.
Roglic in 3rd.
Yes.
Sweet.
That's weird. Next stage, Biniam Gourmet, Jasper Philipsen, Arnaud Delis, Pascal Ackermann.
Okay.
Next stage, Anthony Turgis, Tom Pidcock.
I think
Boy, oh boy, what a bad tour, Tom.
Yeah.
Derek G. Whoa!
he was in that breakaway.
got
That's
3rd?
crazy.
Yeah.
That's 2, right?
There's another guy we didn't mention about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What a great final
did have
time
a good
trial
tour.
for
Yeah,
him. That was
yeah.
crazy.
For Premier Tech.
G.
Yeah. Alex Anaburu from Movistar is 4th on that stage. Next stage, Jasper Philipsen, Biniam Gourmet, Pascal Ackerman, and Wout van Aert.
Thanks, Wout.
Yeah.
What a shit tour out of him.
God, I hope we see something out of him in the Olympics. Next stage, Jonas
Worlds.
Vingegaard, Tadej Pogacar, Remco Evenepoel, and Primoz Roglic. Next stage, Biniam Gourmet, Wout van Aert, Arnaud Demar, Pascal Ackerman. Ackerman had some good finishes. I'm saying his name a lot.
Yeah, he just never wins
There's no
anything.
Premier Tech,
Yeah.
but yeah, that's not bad though. Next stage, Jasper Philipsen, Wout van Aert, Pascal Ackerman, Biniam Gourmet. Next stage, what am I on to?
14.
14, Tadej Pogacar.
Sweet.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Jonas Vingegaard, Remco Evenepoel, and Carlos Rodriguez. The only shining star in the Ineos Grenadier.
That was a not very good shining star out of him either.
Next stage, Tadej Pogacar. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Jonas Vingegaard. No, right? Remco Evenepoel. Did they do that 2 stages in a row? They
Yeah.
did.
They did that a
Holy
lot of
shit.
stages.
And Mikel Landa.
He was way one of the best tours I've seen out of him.
Yeah. These guys are going to have a great Tour of Spain.
Yeah.
Next stage, Jasper Philipsen, Phil Bauhaus, Alexander Kristoff, and Sam Bennett. Who?
Yeah, I know.
That's crazy.
Who ended up leaving?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Next stage, Richard Carapaz, Simon Yates, Enric Mas, and Laurens de Plus from Ineos Grenadiers. Next stage, Victor Kampenaerts. I am so happy.
The most Belgian accent
It was,
I've ever heard.
yeah. Matteo
Blue
Vercher.
skies.
Yeah. Mikael Kwiatkowski and Tom Squeens. And if you had any of them, wow. Next stage, Tadej Pogacar. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
I think we know the next.
Matteo Jorgensen, Simon Yates, and Richard Carapaz. We are on our final stage, right?
Yes.
Tadej Pogacar. Jonas Vingegaard, Richard Carapaz, Remco Evenepoel.
Richard Carapaz was on.
This is stage 20.
Yeah, so one more stage.
Yep.
Wait, so 19? He had. 19 was.
19 was Tadej, Matteo, Simon, and Richard.
Oh, I did something wrong.
20 was Tadej, Jonas, Remco. No, sorry, stage 20 was Tadej, Jonas, Richard, Remco.
So 18 was the one that Victor Kampenaerts won?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, I skipped 15. That's why. What was 15?
Let me scroll down.
Really
15?
screwed
This
this
is
up.
great radio.
Yeah,
It
I
is
love
great radio. Well, people might be tallying with us, hopefully. And if not, they can fast forward through this. Oh, stage 15. Tadej, Jonas, Remco, and Mikel Landa. I might have forgotten that one, too.
Oh, now you're adding it on.
I'm adding
Yeah,
it
yeah.
because I already
Well,
know
if
I
you're past
fucking
81,
lost.
I'm going to have the recount.
I already know I lost. And then our final stage. Oh, it's not on here. What? What was the final order of the final stage? Let me bring it up here. I think I have it on.
It was Tadej, Vindigo, Evenepoel, and who was fourth?
I got it right here. There. Sorry for everybody for the gaps. Tadej, Vingegaard, Remco, and Matteo Jorgensen.
Matteo. That was a good TT for that
That was
guy.
a good TT. Everybody, tally up the points. Paul came home with
81.
81.
Did you add the jerseys on?
No,
Yeah.
we didn't.
You did.
I did.
So,
Yeah.
So it's 30 for
30
yellow.
on top of it. So there's
Okay.
30.
20 for
No one got...
and 20 for the other jerseys, right?
Yeah.
So-
I don't think anybody's got any other jerseys.
Yeah. Okay.
So
So are we giving our final tallies?
Yep.
I have 101.
You do?
Yeah.
Paul has 81.
81.
Okay, it's probably because of Jasper Phillips.
Yep.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure I did not do
Yeah.
that in a crazy way.
And that's our show for tonight, everybody.
No. What did you have?
I have 79.
Oh, so only by 2 points.
But
I didn't have to wear white shorts.
That's great.
We got to figure out what's the punishment going to be. Do I have to order another kit? Because I'm not wearing the see-through shorts again. I'll get a better pair of white shorts.
Yeah, we'll have to have a little powwow what to do.
Yeah.
A little discussion.
Think about that.
When I lost, I had to be on the rollers the whole show.
Yeah.
You did.
Yeah, and I knocked over
one of the Orval glasses. Yeah, that's
with
go
Orval
back
in
and go back in the video records. You know, find that
Wow.
one in the studio back when it was still a
I had a
work in
little
progress.
headset on there. I felt like saying, "Welcome to McDonald's. What can I help you with?"
You did. We put you in a headset.
Yeah.
That was great.
Back with the fluorescent
So
lighting.
Jackson, technically, you're our winner.
Yeah.
Yeah,
in
at this
studio
table.
winner.
Yeah.
At this table, yes.
Yeah,
Well,
we do have some listeners who came
Yeah.
up with some pretty good
I was
points.
gonna say, let's be real. We all know
Sam,
that Sam didn't
Sam's
do
gonna.
anything.
I might have
David?
beaten Sam. David thinks Peter Sagan's still in the race.
Well, Sam had Tade and Jonas, Nielsen Paulus, and
Toddy and Jonas.
yeah.
we might have beaten me
So-
though.
Yeah.
But he also had Wout van Aert and
Well,
I see Tom Pidcock.
yeah. I think he might be the
You
winner.
might get some points. David had Jonas and Tade.
But is second place get anything for a jersey?
No.
No,
And
But
Tade.
stages. Think about how many stages.
Oh yeah.
he
So we'll have
had
to
Jonas and Tade. He had Cavendish as a sprinter, and he had Remco as an outsider.
That
Not immediately disqualifies
He
him.
might even win.
He can't pick Remco as an outsider.
Well, the way we were disparaging him, like, oh, they won't even make it to the third week. I mean, he's never,
Yeah.
other than the Vuelta.
He just doesn't
Yeah.
watch bike racing.
No.
Should we finish off with some nice segments tonight? You guys got time for some segments?
Sure,
I think
sure.
we got a little time for some segments. We got about 13 minutes remaining in the show, brought to us by our friends at Scratch Labs. Heard it here earlier. Hydration's critical. Scratch does that with a variety of choices and concentration of hydration options to keep you going. Everyday options like the stuff I am personally trying out and putting in my bottle every day because it makes me want to drink, to the critical mix that will get you to the finish line. Thanks for Scratch. They got you covered without messing up with your gut. So we are going to jump right into it. And we're going to hit with changing times with the one and only Paul Main. We got confirmation the new Arrive kits have shipped too. But changing,
really?
yeah.
Sweet. Wow.
Roger Drink
Uh-huh.
just told me that he's the guy who I got to go do endurance rides with. He just had
he
a great.
knows how to
He
do
just
that.
had a great race, and he qualified for the second seeding at Leadville. He's going to be right behind the pros.
That's
I
awesome.
saw that he put
Yeah.
it on, and you put it on Strava.
Yeah, dude's flying, man.
Yeah.
And this is a guy who's he said he's not great on the. No, sorry, I gotta shut up. We'll talk about this in another time. I almost sounded like Mark.
Oh.
Oh yeah.
Paul, what do you got for us for changing time?
Well, mine was I mentioned that Tade was part of my topic, and
Yeah.
so he posted probably on X, Twitter, whatever. Don't care.
Switched
and
to
it's kind
Threads.
of probably the translation kind of came out weird. So he says, "I get so many messages, I see so many posts, so many comments that don't saying that don't waste energy, don't waste energy." But I think I will never change. When I feel when I feel it, I will attack. I love to race. Oh. So
God, that makes fun bike racing.
yeah, and the funny thing is we have this group of people who in all sports there's always the couch coach
Yeah.
type of thing, Monday quarterback
Yeah.
type deal.
Yeah.
And we complained about Sky being boring, and that old style of having a train and just burning people out. That's what makes Tade what Tade. And if he loses the race that way, I think that makes it even just as exciting as if he won. And so we were talking about gifting, and stuff. No, he's got to keep going, and he loves history. He wants to be a part of history, and I think he's on the way. And without all that, back in our day, so I'm bringing it back to ours.
Yeah.
Is like that's how we had to race. I mean, I feel good. I know, it's not a matter like, oh, we're going downhill, but I feel good. I'm going to attack. Now that's stupid. But if you know the course, you do your work, and you feel good, and you're reading everybody else's, body signs and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Why not? That could be a time, or this segment, or this is selective part, and that is what makes cycling to me. That makes it interesting. That's what makes it fun, and that's how I think amateurs race as a general rule. Sometimes we make mistakes, but the problem is I think we have a tendency to, he should have never attacked at that point, or that's why he lost the race. But if you don't try, like Vindigo, when he went and they gave that one stage, what was it, 1920?
The one where he looked over his shoulder, and that's when Tade attacked, because he was going.
Yeah, it was the one where Mateo was up. They had satellite guys up there, and Mateo. Well, that was another stage, but Vindigo knew he wasn't going well.
Yeah.
On the one, he just said, "No, I'm not going to be able to do it." But that is bike racing. That's why this was a great tour, because people didn't listen to what you should do, or
And that's why this is such an incredible era of cycling. I saw an interview with Tade who said, people keep telling us that this is an incredible era of cycling. And he says, even if I wasn't here, it would still be an incredible era of cycling.
Yeah.
And I
That's
just
a humble guy.
I love seeing the aggression and the attacking, and not the complicated, the calculated, inch by inch marginal gain mentality.
And he didn't. He was already had. Everybody's like, on stage 20. He didn't need to attack. I mean, it was typical for yellow jerseys to sit there. They had to attack. Once you establish your comfort zone, everybody had to attack you. You just controlled, and that's what. As much as I like him, is Miguel Indurain. Yeah, he got his buffer and TTs, and all he had to do is manage his losses.
Yeah. There would be attacks. Marco Pantani's would attack, and he would just slowly increase the tempo.
Back then, all those guys would try and get him on the hills, and he would manage and manage. And I think he was a great champion. I think I liked the guy. I liked his demeanor. Yeah, he was a very gracious winner, but it wasn't like the best. And what we're watching again, I think this is a highlight. We have a champion that. It's like, hey, I'm going to try this. Yeah. It's just great.
Well, I what I loved about this tour was there were riders who were not necessarily worried about. I hate when we start to settle into this, well, I'm 8th on GC. I should just kind of make my point to maintain 8th on GC. I love when we get to the point where there's like going, if I'm 8th on GC, screw it. I want to be 3rd on GC, or I'm going to go down in a ball of flames. And that, I don't know. I mean, I don't know what sponsors look for. I don't know where the financial end of this sport is, but nobody's going to remember who was 8th on GC. But they're going to remember. Your brilliant attack. They're going to remember Richard Carapaz's final week in this tour. I don't give a shit who was 8th, and I don't know. Yeah. Oh, no, Mateo is 5th or something like that.
No, 5th was Mikel Landa.
So great. I picked the one number to insult the one stud American who's our only hope. Well, Jackson, I'm gonna change your intro music, but this is all I got for right now. So we are talking the cool down, and this should just be replacing of the final K. We should just give this to you as the cool down in the final segment of the show.
Well,
pressure.
Yeah, I know, a lot of pressure.
You got to do it every week now.
Well, that's fine, because it's not really that hard to plan. I'm going to be honest, because you think about it, it's just like an interesting question, and everybody gets to answer it in their own way.
It's like everybody who thinks podcasting's so easy, you just sit down and turn on the mics.
That's all it is.
Yeah.
And that's all we do for this, right?
Right?
Right.
Yeah, this paper in front of me is just bullshit.
No, it's just for show.
Yeah,
it is for me. I just show up.
But recently, I've been not recently. This is how I consume TV when I'm alone. When I'm alone, this is how I consume TV. It's through YouTube. I don't really
on the Deek.
Yeah, well, no. No, I sit in my living room.
Find a way to tie that joke back in.
I sit in my living room like a civilized.
I'm calling
human being.
this show on the Deek.
On the Deek.
But I do like I like YouTube a lot. I have a tough time like sitting down and committing to a TV show if my wife's not there with me.
Yeah.
Funnily enough, and I mean a good portion of my YouTube is all cycling stuff. Lately, I've been really getting into like the little like tech items of the cycling world, fitness items, all that stuff. But I also really do like the crit racing YouTube, which I don't know what it is. I don't know if I find a story in it, but I just like to see other people's experience. It's something maybe that I've experienced as well. And then every once in a while, I do kind of like the VC Adventure stuff, who formerly known as Vegan Cyclist. I do kind of like some of that stuff, just because I think that has more of a storyline than just like a straight up crit or a review video. Yeah. And that's kind of what I like to consume. I even also have like some commentary YouTubers, which I find kind of funny. But I guess my question in this is, what type of content do you consume on YouTube or even television?
I'll stick to YouTube because my wife and I now, after a certain time of night, we don't watch broadcast TV anymore. BritBox is fucking me up, and I blame you for it, Paul, because I am just like falling in love with it.
It's great.
I'm starting to watch a lot of BritBox. Toast of London cracks me up. I laugh out loud at that show. But on YouTube, I need your suggestions, Jackson, because Michelle and I tend to watch a lot. She likes this couple who are mountain bike racers called Sid and Mackie, which are great because there's a story behind it. There's characters behind it, but there's also this first person of them doing the races.
Yeah.
And we love VC Adventures and stuff like that. But I'm still trying to find more content because they're not filling it up enough, because heaven forbid they're not every day out there editing and creating perfect content for us. But that's the kind of stuff we like too. So a lot of cycling. Yeah. It's funny. Sam the cooking guy, by the way, is also awesome on YouTube. Yeah. He's a dude in his back deck and he creates great recipes. So
he's funny.
Yeah, he is funny.
Two creators I will say, and I really want to hear you as well, Paul. Two that I really like have gotten into over the past, I would say 6 months, is a guy. He calls his channel VC Let's Get It, and he is British, but he lives in Girona, and he travels around the world doing all these gravel races. But he has this kind of like indie style feel to it, where it's almost like what they call the dad cam. It's like just a handheld camcorder, and it's a little lower quality, but it feels like a home video. And then Dan Jones, cycling and running. He does both. I know, crazy.
Yeah.
But it's
if he throws in a swim, I'm out.
Yeah. But he's also British, and he also kind of has that same visual quality about him, but he does a lot more like longer form content. He gets invited to certain things. He does the Paris Marathon, things like that I find really interesting. And he's a newer cyclist, so you get to kind of go along that experience that we've all gone through, but we take for granted now. So I really been liking those two lately. But Paul, on to you.
So your first question, I watch a lot. Well, NorCal Cycling used to have a lot of, like, I think Jeff's pulled away a little bit on crit stuff, but Will, his guest that comes on, Hardin, I think is his name or something. I watch him wholeheartedly. Local crits anywhere, like Turd of Bloom, drink. And we all got
Drags.
Oh, by the way. That was a good interview.
Well, thanks. I was going to plug that afterwards. So yeah,
you can do it. You still can do it.
First, I'll do it at the end. Yeah, go for it.
But with YouTube, you like courses that I see.
Right.
I dug up some from Everett. Some people had cameras and stuff. I like that even on the amateur level. It doesn't have to be professionally done. But Will has a tendency to really, and there's quite a few other guys that are in the Pro 1-2. That I'll follow or I see it come up. Like Chicago had a couple of crits there, and the guy not locally, but state of Washington that I raced against. He's a 65-year-old, and he's on his way down to nationals this year.
Oh wow!
Talked to him at Everett and stuff. He was on his way, but he did Chicago, and those are the things I like to see. Following like people I can relate to as to the high production stuff. I'm getting long-winded, but
no,
GCN is like this versus stuff, and that's what NorCal's even starting to do a little bit.
Yeah,
I don't like that's just my personal thing.
Something versus another thing.
Yeah.
I feel the same way.
Yeah.
And it's boring. And cycling is kind of unusual sport. Is like, what else? I think we're running out of ideas.
Running
on
out of
YouTube.
content.
Yeah, it's tough. And it's not to disparage them, but it's just like, what do you do? But I like watching crit racing. And from that point of view, the POVs of even Cat 3s or Cat 4s, I like watching those. Yeah. And that sounds strange. Yeah.
We did recently watch and this is mountain bike footage of that L'Alpe d'Huez downhill.
Oh, it's crazy.
Oh my God. It's a mass start downhill.
Yeah.
And the Sid and Mackie, by the way, I can't recommend them enough. They're great. I've been trying to get them on the show for a while, but because Mackie got 8th in that race. I mean, and he ran a helmet cam and a chest GoPro the whole race, and you see just the carnage. It's just insanity
right in front of him.
Yeah. You have a couple beers and you watch that, and you're just like going, "This is the best circus ride in the world."
Mega Avalanche?
Yeah,
that's what I thought.
It's great stuff.
Yeah,
it's just lunacy.
To wrap, no, I was going to say, to wrap all this up, I think it's so interesting because I would consider YouTube and this type of thing not a form of like television or anything like that, but almost a form of social media, because it creates an algorithm that is so catered towards you. And I think it's a platform that is unlike anything else, that is so stylized. See, I'm not letting it go completely to the individual.
Yeah.
So
cool.
I would love to find more though, and I will invite people to drop notes of YouTube channels and people like that they're watching, because I'm desperate for content, because there's no effing way I'm watching network TV anymore, especially the news. I can't watch the news anymore. It's just I'll read my news. I will read. I can't watch the news anymore. It's just crazy.
It is.
I'm turning into that old guy. I'm not. I'm not turning in. I am that old guy. I'm yelling at the TV on a constant basis. I'm like, you.
It's not even on.
Yeah.
It is up here. It is up here.
I know what's going on.
It never shuts off. Well, this brings us to the end of another Pack Filler podcast, everybody. Oh God, the outro. No, let's not play that one. Let's play the short one.
Oh.
The short one, because we don't need it. This is the one that says au revoir. This one's so mellow.
I cannot. This is Minecraft music. If you ever played, you would know.
Just Minecraft?
Yeah. This is exactly like Minecraft music.
Really?
Anyways, yeah.
I'm building my village.
It's Don't You Dare.
I'm going to. I am there. Brings us to the end of another Pack Filler podcast. Be sure to like, and yes, I screwed up that first sentence. Be sure to like and subscribe, everybody, as it truly helps us boost our power. Boost our power. I typed that. Drop us a review, you guys, on your favorite Pack Filler, on your podcasting platform. I have had 2 beers, and it's been warm.
Thanks, Benedito's.
Yep.
Yes, absolutely. Thanks to Benedito's. Be sure and check out Pack Filler Perspectives, the first episode of the show that I did yesterday with the wonderful Ace Bollinger, he said it was his name was, and I almost screwed it up, and even though it sounds just like mine.
Au revoir.
There we go.
Yeah.
Told me to go away.